In the vast expanse of Texas, where sunsets pour honey through the trees and guitars sing in the wind, there is a place that embodies the spirit of freedom, Willie Nelson's Luck Ranch. It's not just a ranch, it's a symbol of the outlaw country spirit, free-spirited, genuine, and Texas. Step through the rustic wooden gate, and you'll see horses roaming the pastures, a cozy house filled with memories, and the air of freedom flowing through every breath. Now join me in exploring this legendary ranch. Willie Hugh Nelson's story begins in the dust and heat of Abbott, Texas, where the sky seemed to stretch forever, and music was the only way to dream beyond the horizon. Born in 1933 in the depths of the Great Depression, Willie's first lullabies weren't soft tunes from a crib. They were the sound of trains, church hymns, and his grandfather's weathered hands strumming a worn guitar. His mother left soon after he was born, and his father remarried and moved away, leaving Willie and his sister Bobby to be raised by their grandparents, the kind of people who believed that faith, hard work, and song could patch any wound. By 6, Willie had a guitar of his own, and by 7, he was already writing his first songs. Little pieces of heartache from a boy who hadn't even lived it yet, but somehow understood it. At 9, he was playing in a local polka band, the kind of smoky, foot-stomping gigs that paid in nickels and sandwiches. He was just a kid with red hair and a voice too big for his age, but the locals knew. That boy was going somewhere. After high school, Willie joined the Air Force, then tried college at Baylor University, studying agriculture. But the classroom walls couldn't hold him. The call of music was louder than any lecture, and soon he dropped out, trading textbooks for bar stages and radio booths. As a DJ at tiny Texas stations, he spun Hank Williams and Bob Wills records by day and wrote his own by night. In 1955, he pressed his first singles, The Storm Has Just Begun and When I've Sung My Last Hillbilly Song, using nothing but the radio station's dusty recording equipment. No one bought them, but he didn't stop. Rejection, for Willie Nelson, was just another verse before the chorus hit. In the late 1950s, he drifted north to Portland, Oregon, chasing not fame but survival. He slept little, played bars, and DJ'd wherever he could. Somewhere between those long nights and empty paychecks, he wrote songs that would one day become immortal. Funny How Time Slips Away, Nightlife, and Crazy, the song that Patsy Cline turned into a classic. Nashville came calling after that. By 1960, he'd made the move, signed a publishing deal, and in 1962, his debut album, And Then I Wrote, turned him from a hungry songwriter into a voice worth listening to. But it wasn't easy. Nashville wanted polish. Willie was raw Texas soul, so he left. In 1972, broke and burned out, Willie returned home to Texas. There, among the wild prairies and whiskey-fueled bars of Austin, he found his people, the outlaws of country music. With long hair, denim, and defiance, he helped birth a revolution. Albums like Shotgun Willie, 1973, Red-Headed Stranger, 1975, and Stardust, 1978, didn't just sell, they defined an era. Willie's voice was cracked and tender, his guitar solos slightly offbeat, but his honesty made him untouchable. The 1980s brought superstardom. Songs like On the Road Again and To All the Girls I've Loved Before turned him into an American icon, and his band of brothers, Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, and Waylon Jennings, formed the Highwaymen, a country supergroup that embodied rebellion with grace. But with fame came trouble. In the early 1990s, the Internal Revenue Service claimed he owed millions in back taxes, a staggering $32 million. Most would have folded. Willie turned it into a story. He released the IRS tapes, Who'll Buy My Memories, and used the album sales to help pay it back. That's the thing about Willie Nelson. Even when the system came for him, he sang his way out of the storm. The new century didn't slow him down. He kept touring, kept recording, kept living on his own terms. His music evolved, crossing into jazz, pop, and blues, yet his spirit stayed the same. Barefoot honesty wrapped in melody. During the 2020 pandemic, while the world shut down, Willie went live online, raising over $700,000 to support struggling families and artists. His Come and Toke It live stream blended music and advocacy, funding the Last Prisoner Project, helping those incarcerated for marijuana offenses, a cause close to his heart. Even in his late 80s, he wasn't done. With albums like The Willie Nelson Family, 2021, and A Beautiful Time, 2022, he earned new Grammy Awards for Best Country Solo Performance and Best Country Album. In 2023, he released I Don't Know a Thing About Love and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a final poetic recognition that his music had transcended every genre and generation. Today, Willie Nelson is more than just a country music legend. He's a living American icon. From a poor barefoot boy in Abbott, Texas, to a man the world knows, Willie turned pain into music, freedom into a way of life. And all that spirit is still evident at Luck Ranch, a home that breathes Texas, where every wind and every sunset tells the story of his life. Luck Ranch. Imagine driving down a long, dusty Texas road as the sun begins to dip low, painting the horizon in gold and amber. The air smells of wild sage and cedar. Then, through the haze of heat and light, the gates of Willie Nelson's Luck Ranch appear, wrought iron and engraved with the words, Luck, Texas. It's not just a name. It's a world that Willie built with his own hands, where music, memories, and freedom all live under the same wide sky. As you enter, the gravel crunches beneath the tires, and the vastness of stretches before you. Over 3,200 acres of open Texas land. The landscape rolls like an ocean of grass, dotted with oak trees, ponds, and rustic fences. Every inch of this land carries Willie's touch. Restored native grasslands, old barns turned into music spaces, and even a small sanctuary on a hill with a wooden cross watching over it all. At the heart of the ranch sits the 8-bedroom, 8-bath estate, a sprawling 10,000-square-foot home that looks like it was born from the land itself. Built in classic Texas hill country style, it combines rugged limestone walls with wide porches and cedar beams that whisper stories of old ranch life. From afar, it looks like a scene out of a western, but up close, it's luxury wrapped in soul. Step inside, and you're greeted by high ceilings, open wooden trusses, and a flood of natural light pouring through floor-to-ceiling windows. The floors are European white oak, smooth, warm, and aged beautifully from years of family gatherings and late-night jam sessions. The living room holds a stone fireplace so large it could roast a whole steer, surrounded by worn leather sofas, guitars hanging on the walls, and framed photos of Willie's legendary career, from smoky bar gigs to Grammy stages. In the corner, an old Martin guitar leans against a rocking chair. It's not for show. Willie still plays it here in this room when the mood strikes. The kitchen blends rustic charm with modern ease. A chef's dream with custom pine cabinetry, marble countertops, and a massive farmhouse table made from reclaimed barn wood. This is where mornings start slow, with coffee brewing and the smell of fresh bread. Friends, family, and bandmates gather here like they have for decades, swapping stories over plates of barbecue and cornbread. Upstairs, the bedrooms are cozy, each with large windows that open to the breeze and the song of cicadas. Willie's own suite is simple but elegant. A wide wooden bed, hand-woven rugs from local artisans, and books stacked everywhere. Through the window you can see miles of untouched land, the kind of view that makes you forget what day it is. Out back, the energy shifts. There's an outdoor entertainment space with a stone terrace, pool, and fire pit overlooking the ranch. It's here that the music lives, impromptu jam sessions under the stars, laughter echoing across the valley. On special nights, Willie and his friends perform at the old Luck, Texas movie set, a miniature western town built for his 1986 film Red-Headed Stranger, now reborn as a gathering place for artists and dreamers. The pool shimmers under the Texas sun, lined with limestone and surrounded by wildflowers. It's not just a place to cool off. It's a front-row seat to some of the most beautiful sunsets in the state. As the light fades, the water mirrors the sky, turning pink, orange, and deep indigo. Leaving Luck Ranch, we come to the house in Spicewood, Texas, the peaceful place where Willie Nelson found rest after days of wandering with music. House in Spicewood, Texas. In the heart of Texas, where the wind blows through the fields and the smell of hay wafts in the afternoon sun, there is a place that embodies the spirit of Willie Nelson. This 30-acre ranch, located along the tranquil Pedernales River, is valued at $3.9 million. The house is nearly 3,800 square feet, with 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, surrounded by ancient oak trees and wooden fences that have faded over time. From a distance, the house appears like a part of nature, rustic, genuine, and solid. As the iron gates swing open, the quiet hum of the Texas countryside greets you. The long gravel driveway winds through open pastures and groves of live oaks, where sunlight filters through the branches like a slow Texas ballad. On the horizon, the main house appears. A low-slung limestone and cedar structure with a wide porch wrapping around it, built in harmony with the landscape rather than against it. Before you reach the front door, you pass a garden that feels like it's been growing here forever. Wildflowers in every hue of red and yellow, old whiskey barrels turned into planters, and a couple of rocking chairs shaded under a pecan tree. It's peaceful, but not manicured, exactly how Willie likes it, letting nature do most of the talking. Step inside, and the air shifts. The entrance opens into a spacious living room with soaring wood-beam ceilings and wide windows overlooking the river. The floors are made of warm, reclaimed pine. Each plank seems to hold a story. A stone fireplace stands proudly at the center, its mantel lined with vintage guitars, framed gold records, and black and white photos from a lifetime on the road. The scent of cedar lingers faintly in the air, mingling with the soft hum of a radio that never seems to turn off. This is where Willie often sits with friends, trading songs and stories as the fire crackles late into the night. To the left is a kitchen that's equal parts cowboy and comfort. Granite counters meet rustic open shelving filled with ceramic mugs and cast iron pans. There's a long farmhouse table, big enough for family breakfasts or impromptu jam sessions, lit by a wrought iron chandelier. Behind it, an old jukebox sits quietly in the corner, one of Willie's favorites from his touring days, still playing classics from the 1970s. The primary bedroom, tucked away on the first floor, is both intimate and refined. Wide French doors open directly to the deck and river beyond, letting in morning light and the sound of running water. Inside, the decor is understated. Handmade quilts, weathered leather, and a guitar resting by the window. Connected to the room is a private dressing area and exercise room, as well as a large ensuite bath with double vanities and a walk-in shower. 2 guest bedrooms upstairs carry the same rustic charm, their walls lined with photographs from Willie's early career and small notes scrawled in his handwriting. Off the main hall lies a study, lined floor to ceiling with books, vinyls, and memories. The built-in oak shelves hold not just trophies and awards, but personal treasures, letters from friends like Johnny Cash, and photos with Waylon Jennings. The air here feels heavier, quieter. It's a space where creativity never really left, just paused to rest. Walk through the sliding glass doors, and you step onto an enormous multi-level deck, one of the home's showpieces. Built from cedar planks, it stretches out toward the pool and beyond to the shimmering river. It's easy to picture Willie here with his family, guitar in hand, as guests lounge in the shade or gather around the fire pit under the Texas stars. The pool itself reflects the evening sky like a mirror, calm, still, and full of stories. It's not hard to imagine a summer evening barbecue here, with laughter, music, and the slow rhythm of the pedernales flowing nearby. A short walk down the property brings you to a large barn with 6 stalls, a tack room, and even an apartment upstairs, a nod to Willie's lifelong love for horses. 2 fully furnished guest houses stand nearby, each with its own kitchen, living room with a fireplace, 2 bedrooms, a bath, and a private deck. Friends, family, and fellow musicians often stay here when the ranch turns into a gathering place of songs and stories. From the peaceful place, where Willie Nelson found a slow pace of life after many years of wandering, let's now take a look at the musical journey that helped him build a legacy that everyone who listens must respect. Income and net worth. When people talk about wealth in country music, they often start with Willie Nelson's voice. But his real legacy is written in the rhythm of the dollars his music has moved for over 6 decades. Today, his net worth stands at an estimated $25 million, a fortune built not just on stage lights and applause, but on grit, rebellion, and a lifetime of songs that became anthems of freedom. The biggest deal of Willie's career came in the form of timeless hits. On the Road Again, Always on My Mind, and Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Each one didn't just top charts. They became cultural touchstones, pulling in royalties that have kept his name on paychecks long after the lights dimmed. On the Road Again, written on a barf bag during a plane ride, turned into one of his most profitable songs ever, used in commercials, movies, and tours, generating millions over time. It became his passport to financial immortality. Before that success, the road wasn't always smooth. In the 1970s, Willie reshaped Nashville's sound with albums like Shotgun Willie, 1973, and Red-Headed Stranger, 1975. Those records didn't just sell, they revolutionized an industry, giving Willie both creative control and better financial leverage than most of his peers. By the time Stardust came out in 1978, a jazz-infused collection of American standards, he'd become a crossover icon, earning not just from album sales but from massive touring profits that regularly hit millions per year. Touring has always been his biggest paycheck, and even now in his 80s, Willie's still out there filling arenas. Each tour pulls in millions, with fans showing up for that voice, that soul, and those stories only he can tell. At his peak, one show alone could bring in more than $300,000. That's the road money that built his whole empire. Then came the darker days, the battle with the Internal Revenue Service in the early 1990s. After being hit with a $16.7 million tax bill, Willie did what no one expected. He turned it into art. He released the IRS tapes Who'll Buy My Memories, an album whose profits went straight to paying off his debt. It was a rare moment where music literally bought him freedom and proved that no financial storm could silence him. Beyond music, Willie has always been a shrewd businessman. He's invested in Trigger, his beloved guitar that's now worth hundreds of thousands as a cultural artifact. Luck Ranch, his 3,200-acre property in Texas that doubles as both a home and a concert venue, and several business ventures, including Willie's Reserve, a marijuana brand that reflects his lifelong advocacy for legalization. Each of these has become a steady income stream, a mix of authenticity and entrepreneurship that few artists can match. He also made money from Hollywood. Willie appeared in over 30 films and television shows, from Honeysuckle Rose to The Dukes of Hazzard, earning respectable acting salaries that added millions over time. And with his image appearing on everything from t-shirts to coffee mugs, merchandising became another quiet fortune builder. Besides his talent and huge fortune, he is also famous for his kindness, having donated more than $5 million to charity activities over the past decade. Philanthropy. Willie Nelson's philanthropic journey began, not with calculation, but with genuine compassion. He, Neil Young, and John Mellencamp founded Farm Aid in 1985 with the goal of keeping farm families on the land. Farm Aid's first concert, on September 22, 1985, in Champaign, Illinois, drew more than 80,000 people and raised more than $9 million in one night. Since then, Farm Aid has raised more than $85 million to help thousands of American farmers weather the crisis and rebuild their lives. But what Willie always emphasized was, money is only one part. The most important thing is the belief that people have to get back up. Each year, Farm Aid provides hundreds of emergency grants, an average of about $500 per household, to farmers who have lost crops or have been hit by natural disasters. They operate a hotline, 1-800-FARMAID, to listen and support each case, from a farmer in Iowa who needs fuel to heat their barn in the middle of winter, to a young family in Missouri who wants to switch to organic farming. In 2023 alone, Farm Aid awarded more than $1.35 million to organizations that support farmers, fund training programs, connect with markets, and recover from natural disasters. In addition, the fund donated $464,500 to year-end projects, helping hundreds of smallholders expand their farms, improve their incomes, and keep their land. Beyond Farm Aid, Willie founded the Willie Nelson Endowment for Uplifting Rural Communities at the University of Texas, which funds research, scholarships, and projects to develop sustainable rural communities. It's his way of giving back to the land that raised him. In 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic left millions of people unemployed, Willie and his two sons, Micah and Lucas, hosted the online concert At Home with Farm Aid. The show raised more than $500,000 to help farm workers and their families buy food, pay bills, and maintain their small farms during the lockdown. For Willie, it was a way of using music to heal, a bridge between the heart and the field. That same year, he launched the live stream Come and Toke It, a program to advocate for the legalization of cannabis and donate to the Last Prisoner Project, an organization that helps people who have been imprisoned for cannabis-related crimes re-enter society. People who have been discriminated against and lost job opportunities are now receiving psychological support, vocational training, and having their criminal records cleared when the law changes. Willie believes that justice is only meaningful when it is generous enough to right past wrongs. Behind a kind heart and touching acts of charity, Willie Nelson's personal life appears surprisingly simple and warm. Now let me step into his ordinary world, where music, family, and small joys of every day continue to tell the story of a sincere and close person, personal life. Currently, Willie still lives with his fourth wife, Annie D'Angelo, on a peaceful ranch in Texas, where the trees are green and the sound of guitars echoes every afternoon. His two youngest sons, Lucas and Micah, are his greatest pride, not only as children, but also as colleagues and companions on every musical journey. Lucas leads the band Promise of the Real, and Micah, who goes by the stage name Particle Kid, is the one who directly produced and accompanied his father on recent albums, including Last Leaf on the Tree and Oh What a Beautiful World. They often share behind-the-scenes recordings, rehearsals, or moments of laughter together on Instagram and Facebook, making fans feel a true musical family, where generations together keep the beat of the American country heart. On Facebook, Willie often shares Farm Aid events, a fundraising program to help American farmers that he co-founded and maintained for 40 years. Along with that are short interviews, where he talks about the pride of singing with his two sons and seeing them continue their father's passion. Regarding health, Willie is more careful than before. After years of smoking, he quit smoking completely, replacing it with edibles to protect his lungs. Every morning, he still maintains the same simple breakfast routine, which has not changed for many years. When at home, Willie often wakes up early, walks around the farm, talks with the staff, or meditates with Annie before starting vocal exercises. Every night he still picks up his old Martin guitar, sings a few songs with his children, or live streams a short clip for fans. His voice, though hoarse, still contains the familiar warmth and optimism. In 2025, Willie is not stopping. He just released his 77th album, Oh What a Beautiful World, with philosophical and light-hearted arrangements of old age. In parallel, he has begun planning his 78th album, continuing to collaborate with Micah. When not in the studio, Willie spends time in Hawaii, which he still calls a little paradise to breathe and write music. At 92, he took the stage at Outlaw Music Festival 2025 alongside Bob Dylan and many young artists. Each night, he did not use a fixed set list, but let the music guide him. "I don't know what song I'm going to sing until the audience tells me with their eyes," he once said in an Instagram video, prompting millions of people to comment that they felt the living soul of American country in his smile. After all, Willie Nelson is not only an icon of American country music, he is also a living testament to the power of love, simplicity, and gratitude for life. Until the age of 92, he still sings, still laughs, still spreads positive energy to millions of people with his rustic voice and sincere heart. If you also feel the peace in each of his melodies, leave a comment below, click like and subscribe to continue exploring the inspiring everyday stories of music legends like Willie Nelson.